Hello, everyone. Before we get to this week's review, I want to address the controversy that Google has laid on to us YouTube creators in the fallout of the Logan Paul nonsense. Thanks to that idiot, and yes, Logan Paul is an idiot. Anyone who subscribes to Logan Paul's channel and watches his content is an idiot. Google has decided to punish every small channel out there by changing the requirements for partnership. So my channel, as well as thousands of others, are losing their partnership status within 30 days. This is primarily due to, again, the changes to it that Google is putting in place. Channels now have to reach 1,000 subscribers and have content viewed like to the equivalent of 4,000 hours. That is extremely unreasonable for small channels. Do you realize how much hard work a small channel will have to do to even come close to it? Hell, a small channel can create 4,000 hours of worth of content quite easily on various degrees. But to get it watched to that amount, no, it's virtually impossible considering how competitive and diverse YouTube is, and with how their search engine is set up to be preventive in people discovering smaller channels. There is no other way to put it. So with that said, starting with this week's video review, which of course we'll be talking about the series finale of Bubblegum Crisis Tokyo 2040, they will be uploaded onto Twitch, as well as a scheduled broadcast time yet to be determined. So we will see how things play out from there. I will still upload content to YouTube and still post my nightly highlight reels from my Twitch broadcast. And so I highly encourage, if you haven't already, join me over on Twitch nightly for fun and games, playing various video games, of course. So with that said, let's get to this week's review, shall we? Alrighty, so that depressing stuff out of the way, let's talk a little anime with, of course, Bubblegum Crisis Tokyo 2040, the final episode of the series, still alive and well. And I have to say this is the only episode out of all 26 that does not have its own title card. It doesn't have a cold open. It opens with the opening theme song and just picks up with Nene and Lena plummeting towards Earth as part of the cliffhanger from the previous episode, which we talked about last Friday. So with that said, let's just jump into it. Lena asks Nene, what are they going to do? How can they survive plummeting towards Earth? And Nene is resigned to the fact that they're basically fucked at this point in time, but discovers that if she releases the restrictions on her heart suit, the heart suit can transform based on an image in her mind, and the heart suit transforms into a bit of like a hydrofoil, be able to angle itself to survive the re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere. Lena follows suit, and they land on a apparently deserted tropical island, totally exhausted from the experience. Now, that's what happens to them. Pris, meanwhile, is still stuck up in space with Galatea, and Galatea wants to make Pris a part of her own being. And it tries to invade Pris's mind, wants to absorb Pris's mind, and is to have that human element, which kind of introduces a metaphysical chestnut that actually plays into things that was mentioned by Galatea in the first half of episode number 25. However, Pris resists, manages to escape. However, her batteries of her heart suit die. She is going to float off into space, suffocate thanks to the lack of oxygen, but her her motorcycle communicates with her, asking her that to release the restrictions on it so that it can help her. She doesn't know how to do it, but apparently her omitting that allows the motorslave to leap into action and combines with Pris to form that mech suit that we saw in a earlier episode when the new heart suits were built. And they end up defeating Galatea by transforming uh, into a giant sword that plummets right through Galatea's heart, as Galatea is pushing her evolutionary boundaries, and by doing that, apparently it gives Galatea the insight as to why humanity is resisting her. It's like boomers will inherit the earth. It's because the natural order of things is for the birth to be born, to live, to die, and the cycle repeats continuously. Very metaphysical, and in the end, Galatea saves Pris, sends her down and apparently into the middle of a desert where Pris ends up singing a very lovely tune while looking out into the, into a sunset, as the world sees a bunch of particles rising from the ground and various objects and going up into space. I originally thought it was supposed to be raining, but apparently it's something else entirely. Uh, Galatea is defeated, and all of our heroes are safe, but obviously don't know what's the status of everyone. And they don't know. Lene and Lena know that they are alive because they're together on an island. Leon doesn't know that Pris is alive because she ended up in the middle of nowhere. On the plus side, Maki regains himself, gets out of his catatonic state, and ends up embracing Celia, who is happy to have her younger brother back to normal, more or less. And the series ends, as I mentioned, with Pris in the middle of nowhere. So, as a series finale, it does everything it's supposed to, but that's basically it. No one knows that the Night Sabers is alive. I mean, Leon doesn't know that Pris is alive, and obviously, Nigel, Henderson, Celia don't know that Pris, Nene, and Lena are alive. It's a very abrupt ending, and one would have. And granted, that's kind of the course for a lot of anime series. Although Blue Sea did have an ending where you kind of saw that everyone was together and involved, so everyone knew that that the team was okay. Uh, but with Bubblegum Crisis Tokyo 2040, that is not shown in any way. It's rather hopeless, because Leon is probably thinking that Pris died up in space, and considering their respective character arcs and how much of the final few episodes was dedicated to them definitely looking like they were going to form a relationship, it's real disappointing to not see Pris surprising Leon in some way. Granted, that may not be her style, but it would have been nice to see. I can. So it's a good finale, but there are some things I wish that was done that certainly wasn't done over the course of the episode. Um, trying to think if there was anything else that stands out, and there really isn't. It's a very straightforward, just the big final push to the end, overly dramatic in some parts, just with a letdown in others. So, with that said, my friends, and you are my friends, Be sure to subscribe. Maybe I can get to 1,000 subscribers. Who the fuck knows? And of course, next week we'll begin our look at Go Nagai's Devil Lady. I have the ADV box set right here, folks. It's 6 discs. Again, I think it's another 26 episodes. Yep, 26 episodes. So yeah, we know what we're going to be talking about every Friday for the rest of the for a good portion of the year. Again, we'll start talking about that next week. And tonight, over on my Twitch channel, I will be back playing Mass Effect 3, doing a Renegade run, as I'm looking to knock out a lot of stuff, and hopefully, if I knock out enough stuff, I'll be able to do the Citadel DLC content once again tomorrow night. So that's what I'm looking forward to there. So hopefully, fingers crossed, things fall into place. Also on Monday, Doctor Who, classic Doctor Who reviews. As I believe we're wrapping up the Savages on Monday, and of course, again, those segments are going to be uploaded to Twitch first and then ported to YouTube. So that's the way I got to do things, folks. So with that said, everybody, if I don't see you on Twitch, have yourselves a great weekend. We'll see you Monday. Bye.